What's good, YouTube? Dmgaming here, and I'm back for another Dragon Ball Z Kakarot video. Guys, live stream, release day live stream, guys. If you haven't subbed to the channel and turn on notifications, do that so you don't miss when we go live with Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. I can't wait to see you there. In today's video, I want to discuss something about balancing. And the reason I want to talk about balancing is because the way that the game is designed, with balancing, with it being a single player game, balancing isn't an issue for the game. And this is, in my opinion, the best way to make a Dragon Ball game because it opens up the door for us to be able to experience true power scaling, true power levels, true strength. Now, we know that this is a Dragon Ball Z based game and things like that, but power is something that is relevant. You look at the past Dragon Ball games that we've played, the 3D arena fighters and stuff like that, and there's never a feel of how powerful Super Saiyans was. Like when you transform into a Super Saiyan, or if you're Piccolo and you do the fuse with Nail and Kami, or you're Boo and you transform into Kid Buu in Xenoverse, there is no, it's purely cosmetic. I'm not saying that you don't do some extra damage, but it's not significant. It's not noticeable. And I don't like that because, you watch the anime, you read the manga, and you see how significant the transformations were. Even going from base to Super Saiyan, how significant that was. Name me a game that has reflected that significance in power. Yeah, there aren't any. Not in my opinion. Unless you go back to Legacy of Goku or Legend of the... Now, the Legend of the Super Saiyan, the game that I played on Super Nintendo, that game, in my opinion, did it great. Because it did make a difference. For example, Goku's base power could have been like 5,000, 9,000, 10,000. But when you went Super Saiyan, it jumped up to like 4 million or 1 million, and it was a noticeable difference. But you look at games like Xenoverse, and like I said, the transformations almost feel purely cosmetic. And then you go to Dragon Ball Z Fighters or Dragon Ball Fighters, and they're already transformed. I mean, but that's a fighting game. That's different. These other games were designed to sort of emulate the anime series that we know and love so well. Yet, they fail in that regard. I even go back to Budokai 3, where you're training, you can actually go into the arena and fight and level up your character. Yeah, you can level him up to level 99 and increase some of his attributes and stuff. And at that point, you can have a noticeable difference in your character, but it's overall. And the only way to get that significance is if you fight a lower level character. Even fighting against another level 99 character, then it basically resets itself to default, where the Super Saiyan transformation just didn't feel like a transformation. You see what I'm saying? With this game, not having balance, or, would it be a single player game? Because all those games were multiplayer, by the way. The Budokai series, the Xenoverse series, they're all multiplayer games, and in that they have those verse mode, and so they have to have balance for the game. Now, could they have created a single player mode and then turned around and made a multiplayer mode? Yeah, but guys, that is an extreme amount of work. And even with that being the case, the multiplayer code would still affect the single player code. You see what I'm saying? Because the fighting is all on one base thing. You see what I'm saying? So it's not as easy as you may think that it would be, but for this game to have this unique opportunity to be a single player game in modern day with the technology that we have, they've already said that balancing isn't an issue with the game because it's a single player game. And that's one of the reasons they went with the single player experience, is to give the most realistic look to date of the fighting in Dragon Ball Z, in the Dragon Ball universe. They specifically talked about that while showing off the Raditz gameplay, and they were saying that by not having balance, we can carefully reenact and show the power disparity between Goku and Raditz and people like that. when Goku was overpowered, because in the anime, he was overpowered. And in the game, even, they say the bosses will have these special mechanics that will automatically put you at a disadvantage. Now, people ask me, will there be a difficulty setting for the game? From what I've heard in the interviews and stuff like that, there isn't so much a difficulty setting per se. It's more or less adaptive. You, in a sense, create your own difficulty. From what they said, if you want a harder fight, if you want the game to be more difficult, then you just don't level up as much, you know. But if you want the game to be easier, then level up as much as you can. And by level up, that's such a broad term for what leveling up is in a game. It's so much more than just increasing your character level. Leveling up also involves eating, which gives temporary and permanent boosts, training, which gives temporary and permanent boosts, and things like that. You know, and playing different various games and all that. Like, okay, Raditz is maybe level 6 or something in this game. There, you can level up your character as much as you want. Now, they haven't spoken about a limit, so we don't know how high your character can go. Is level 100 the end? Is 85? Is 75? We don't know that. But the beautiful thing about this game is you could have 2 level 4 Gokus, and one of them could be significantly stronger than the other one. The reason why is because just because you're level 4 doesn't mean you have high attack, doesn't mean you have high health and stuff like that. Now, when you level up, you're going to have a base. There's going to be a baseline for it all. Level 4 will come with its own baseline. Now, depending on that, is what are you eating? Are you training and stuff like that? Those are going to give you those other boosts to your stats. And that is beautiful that people aren't talking about with this game. The depth of the leveling system in this game is surreal, because if you level up your character, it's just like in Pokemon. You can have 2 Pokemon the same level, the exact same Pokemon, but one of them could have a higher attack stat. One of them could have a higher speed or something to that effect. It's the same way in this game that is beautifully done that nobody is talking about, and that you can have 2 characters that are the same level but could be on completely different levels. And that to me is so dope. You're able to do that because they took away balancing in the game, and now you're able to somewhat reflect that power level. So it's like you're facing off against Raditz. You may be the same level 6 as Raditz, or you see how level 4 Goku could technically mop the floor with level 6 Raditz, even though it didn't happen like that in the anime, but I digress. In the game, it can happen. How? Because, well, he maybe has really high health, or maybe Goku has really high key defense. And that's also a beautiful thing, because now it gives you the control to also kind of mold your character into the fighter that you want. Do you want to be more of a defensive fighter? You can mold yourself more towards defense. You want to be more of an offensive fighter, then you can mold yourself more to being an offensive fighter. Now, we do know that the characters come with their own special attributes in a sense. For example, we know Gohan, like they said, is more of a close-up in your face fighter, looking for opportunities to blast you with key attacks. And then Vegeta is a more back-off type of guy, firing key blasts and things like that. Now, what's interesting is we know that when Vegeta transforms and stuff like that, yeah, he still uses key blasts a lot, but it seems the higher transformation he gets, the more physical he gets and stuff like that. Will that be reflected in the game as well? There is so much more depth to this game that people aren't talking about, that Bandai Namco isn't even really talking about, but it's right here in front of our eyes, and it's been there the entire time. The fact that this game is saying we're throwing balancing out the window, that opens the door for so much, especially when you start getting into the realm of Dragon Ball Super, where you, and I'm not saying Super is in the game, but eventually it probably will be via DLC or sequel or whatever. So you think going Super Saiyan 1, I can't wait to see the power scaling between that and Super Saiyan 2 and Super Saiyan 3. And then if we keep going, you know, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, and then Ultra Instinct, like, dude, can you see where I'm going with this? Can you see? You will be able to realize just how powerful these transformations can be in the game. And I am super excited to experience that. I'm super excited to get my hands on that. And I can't wait to see how much in depth it's going to be with them, because not only are you able to level up your character through eating, training and stuff like that, but also don't forget about the community tab with the soul emblems. Those things are also going to give your characters boosts. Guys, there is going to be so much depth and investment into these characters, that you literally can shape and mold them into the fighters that you want them to be. And I know people are going to look at that and say, oh my God, that would be perfect for a verse mode, because we could have two multiplayer verse mode, because we can have two Gokus the exact same level and have completely different stats. Oh my gosh, I'd love to fight my friend, because he'd be like, hey, you're level 4, I'm level 4, I'm gonna wipe the floor with you. And that's not the case. But multiplayer is not in this game, so you have to enjoy it from a single player element. Now, what's cool about it, like I said, is that you can customize your character in that regard. That depth is there. And so the beauty of it is that everybody's going to have a different playthrough experience. The story is going to be the same. The side quests are going to be the same. But how you live in this game world is going to give you a different experience than the next person. So my Goku is not going to be the same as your Goku. My Vegeta may not be the same as your Vegeta. And that's what's going to be really cool from my standpoint, is watching how I play the game and then watching how you guys play the game and experience it also. What do y'all think about this? Let me know down in the comment section down below, guys. Don't forget also that giveaway is live. We're getting close to draw date for November. Link is in the description box below. Also, please, 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 if you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel and help us to grow, to continue doing what we enjoy doing and making this content. And if you're looking for a great gaming chair to play Dragon Ball Z Kakarot in for hours only, and once it drops, check out eWin Racing lineup of gaming chairs, and they're actually designed like racing chairs, but I digress. They're super comfortable. I'm sitting in one every day. I love it. Don't forget to use promo code Dmgaming for that 25% off. That link is also in the description box below. Guys, it's gonna be nice. And I'm thinking about starting a what if series for the next couple of days, just to give a little going into the month of December, you know, some what if stuff that I know is not going to be in the game, but it will be really interesting to discuss it based on the structure of the game. So be prepared for that as well. Guys, hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Till next time, thanks for watching. Peace.